Good morning again. Let's try take 3 on this and see if the software will manage it. For some reason we've got another software console coming up in the middle. Anyway, we'll go from here, and it's now Thursday morning, 8 o'clock or just 8:15 here. It's just starting to get light in Les Sables and not a bad day here for Tapio. We're still a little bit confused. He's only doing 2.6 knots. These positions were at 4 o'clock UTC, which is about 3 hours ago, and the wind has swung. It was on the nose for him in the last 24 hours or so. Wasn't much fun. He said in his last tweets that he was in his bunk reading a book, and that's about all he could do. But now it's definitely come around to the north-northwest, and I would expect to see him get underway again pretty quickly. It's late afternoon. This is the sunset coming. You probably know that if you click that little circle with the split down the middle, that's day-night. Shows you where the night's coming. So he should be underway, I reckon, before night falls, but we'll have to wait and see. Certainly the weather looks reasonable ahead of time, so we come forward a day for that, and it's swung right around to the northwest, so it's following breezes, and he should pick up a bit of speed there. Nice wind strength, probably 20 knots, 25 knots. Sea will be coming down. We had a look previously, like the sea state, here we go now. Yeah, still sort of 4 or 5 metres, and it's dropping compared to yesterday. It's starting to drop back, and that should be the case. Anything from the north, it usually drops down pretty quickly. So he's looking okay for that one, and then we come another day ahead on the 29th. Wind's lightening off, but it's still from the right direction, so sea will be dropping. Go through to the 30th, around about now. A little bit confused. He'll be up here, back to northerly, getting a little bit unstable because of this low pressure system forming back quite a distance behind, but still okay. Come through to the 31st. And a solid northerly, he'll be here, so that's good. That's beam reaching again, should be making reasonable time. And New Year's Day for Tapio could be light. You never know, he could be up here somewhere. Maybe that's a light day. Maybe the sea will drop off and he can have another crack at those barnacles with his stick. He still hasn't had a chance to put that into practice yet, but not too bad. So Tapio's looking okay right through to the New Year. So we'll come across here and check out Istvan now. Come back to real-time weather today, build it up a little bit here. I'll just focus the camera in on him, get him up here a bit, come back to the wind there, get rid of that, and zoom in so we can see what's going to happen. He's doing pretty good right now, 6 knots. You couldn't ask for much better. That's probably 30, 35 knot winds from behind. Look at the waves, still going to be pretty big. Yeah, it's 6 metres there, 6 metre sea, so he's very much still in the Southern Ocean, and that's going to hold all the way through till Cape Horn by the look. And that's probably a bit big here. I'll come back one so we can see what's developing with the wind. We come forward a day. And it's going to lighten off, but he's just missing the centre of this this low pressure system here, and that's a good thing. He's going to get a southerly breeze, but not too bad. I'll click this through every 3 hours now, just to show. Looks like, yeah, he's going to I'm not worried about it. It is changing every time I look at this one. It's doing something different. He's going to be here. He's going to get a good strong southerly there, but he misses the real heavy part, so that's not too bad. So he'll be fortunate there that he's not a bit north, and that blows itself apart anyway. So we'll now come back to normal weather. I'll pick this up a little bit more so you can see exactly what's going on. So on the 30th again, he might have some headwinds. Let's see where we'll be. So that's 3 days from now, and he'll be making 120. 150, so that's 450. Yeah, by 450 he's going to be way over here somewhere, 400 miles. So not too bad. So now remembering, by the time we get to this weather on the 30th, that's 3 days in advance, he's already up here somewhere, so looking pretty good. Missed out on this one. That's a good thing to miss. You wouldn't want to be back there on that one. So his luck is holding right now. So then we come through to the 31st. He'll be getting very close to Cape Horn by then. Be down around here somewhere. He's got a southerly, so that's looking pretty good. New Year's Day, that's about when it's looking he might get there, I reckon. He hoped to be there by New Year's Eve, but I reckon he'll be in here somewhere by then. So it looks like it's a pretty open door for Istvan. No big storms and everything. He'll be happy about that, and it'll be a complete change for him to get around into the Atlantic. And I know he's been dreaming of it for a while, so we wish him well on that one. Let's have a look at what Uku's got. Bit of a mixed bag still for him. So this is real-time weather now. Doing okay, but on the nose, 5.7, or close reaching, I should say. He'll be making the most of that. It's not strong, 15 to 20 knots probably, but maybe a little bit lumpy. So it's been slow progress for him coming around by the Falklands and so on. Here it's going to swing a bit, so we'll get a following breeze. So in 24 hours' time, he'll be going quite well. 29th, bit of a mixed bag. He'll be up here, maybe light headwinds. It's changing very rapidly. You can see in 24 hours the wind direction's going quite fast. So a lot of little centres everywhere. And then that's interesting. 3 days time. What do we got? 3 days time. Some headwinds maybe. Let's just work out where he'll be. We'll just come a distance. 3 days. It's going to be about 400 miles. Yeah, okay, he could be up here somewhere by then. Somewhere there. So yeah, he's got a bit of everything, eh? It's not big systems. These are little systems with little centres everywhere. A bit unstable. And here he's starting to come into what he's been looking for by taking the outside route here. If I come back and give you the picture, there's South America here. His plan was to take the outside route and hook around, not go through these potential headwinds on this area here, but you can see there's lots of centres everywhere, all a bit confused, so nothing's easy there. I think Uku's just going to be sailing, not when I say sailing hard, he's going to be changing sails, reefing, going one course, then the next, no consistent, nothing that looks like a trade wind yet, so he's still got to work to get north, but the temperatures are all getting warmer, so he'll be happy with that. So here's the big one now for Mark Slats and Jean-Luc. We've got the message, Mark. You did get some headwinds again yesterday, quite frustrating. That was as we predicted in the written report. But now it looks like he's definitely clear. This is the zone here of the easterlies or southeasterlies even. He's getting a bit of, the higher he goes now, the more sort of easterly he'll get in it. But certainly for now, it's on the beam. He's making great speed, 6.4 knots, and he's going exactly where he wants to, which is up here. So he's no complaints there now, and I think he's through the worst of it. So it's pure boat speed, and he'll be, pedal to them, or going flat out, trying to get up to Jean-Luc now. So watch this space. And hang on. Let's go to real-time weather here. Sorry, I was a bit out of that. You can see here, yeah, so there's your southeasterlies, and this is the hook zone. So he was down here yesterday, headwinds, but he's right on the cusp of it. So as he's coming through here, I'll build this up so you can see a bit better on the direction there. The further north now, the more it's swinging, and I think he's through it. If we look at the projection there for a day ahead, it's about the same. So by then he'll be up here somewhere. Another day ahead, it's going light. Okay, so he's got good wind direction. It's going light. He'll stick everything up. The lower the winds, that's still probably 15 knots there. That's enough to keep him moving at over 6 knots. He'll put everything up, and he'll be happy there. So some stable, fast sailing for Mark. That's the 30th, right through to the new year. He's going to be going flat out, and that'll take him right through to the doldrums. So no particular dramas there. That's pure boat speed for Mark. Now, Jean-Luc's been a little bit lucky here because I don't know whether you noticed, but he's now, first of all, he's just about across the other side of the doldrums. His boat speed's down to 3.7, and that's through lack of wind, I would imagine, because this is the zone of the doldrums here. It was quite narrow, but just as he reached it, the doldrums are up here a bit, the light wind area, and it actually came down a bit to meet him, which is good. It saved him. It might have saved him half a day, I reckon, because he didn't have to fight through this calm area. The calm area sort of enveloped him and moved over the top, so that's a good thing. Anyway, he's now coming into the northeasterly trades up here. This is the zone, and let's look at the big picture. This is the zone where got to get now from here up the top round the corner to the finish, and there's usually a high pressure system here, so there's consistent northeasterly winds through this right now, and Jean-Luc will need to make the decision. He obviously wants to stay on starboard tack, which he can do, and I reckon he'll hold it as high as he can. Normally if it was later in the season you'd go a bit wide, and if we look at this, if this makes sense, here's the Azores up here and there's the finish line. So traditionally you'd come in around this way, around the Azores and up there. But because it's so early in the season, if he can hold high, he may squeak through. He may get lucky, depends on the weather forecast. He could hold closer and squeak through on some winds that you get here that come across from the southeast. So there's still some tactics involved. He's getting good weather reports through his radio. So let's wait and see what happens. But for now, he's just got to contend with a zone of these trades, and 20 degrees, there's the 20 degree north latitude, that's where he's got to serve his time penalty. So it's a bit more consistent and there shouldn't be strong winds. Quite often now we'll get some heavy winds up in here north of the Azores, and kind of make it challenging coming into the last part of the course. So come back here to where'd he go? Here he is. Let's look at the weather he's going to get in the next few days. I think it'll be consistent because it is trade winds. Yep, pretty much the same, pretty solid, 25 knots. Looks like it's lightening off as he goes north a little bit through to the 30th. Yeah, it's consistent. He'll like that. He'll be holding on starboard tack. He can do that for another few days, right up into the new year. And yeah, it's just trade wind. It can, normally you'd say it'd be boring, but because the pressure's on to get to the finish, it's never boring for Jean-Luc and never boring for Mark Slats either. The current distance between the two, Jean-Luc's probably been able to hold his own. I'll put it on the tip of the bow there, and I'll put this one on the tip of the bow there. 1,024, so it looks like Jean-Luc has lost out about 30 miles to Mark in the last 18 hours or so, and that may continue. Mark's going to be going flat out, so I would expect to see him start whittling away now at Jean-Luc, because they're pretty much, even though they're not in the same weather system, there's still trade winds. So there's trade winds here for Jean-Luc, trade winds here for Mark. He'll be going flat out. You can see here also, if we look at the wind on the 1st of January, and Mark will be up here about then, the doldrums have disappeared. Basically there's no calms in there, so that could work in Mark's favour. There's just consistent winds and then a wind change. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Watch this space. Wacko, we got through this without the Chinese software popping up, and Jane's been standing behind me ready to jump in emergency services to try and clear it, but it worked. So let's hope we never see it again. Thanks for that, and we'll look forward to seeing Christophe here. He's going to do a French live tracker in the next couple of hours or so. So look out for that if you're French language. See you later, and we'll look forward to seeing Jean-Luc turn up sometime soon. He's saying he's going to arrive now on the 26th of January in Les Sables d'Olonne, and Mark hasn't put a number on it yet, so all part of the fun. See ya.